back so soon?
Well, I
What's on
promised I'd come for a quick after show of that conversation. I thought it was really interesting, the whole idea of midwifing and creation, and I love that quote from Xena about I've already forgotten what it is. I'll put it in the description when the time comes. But yeah, I'm excited to pull this together as an episode. You and Xenia, your first. Honestly, for those, I don't know how much behind the scenes stuff I'm going to post, but for those who aren't familiar with you as a conversational model or aren't that familiar with AI to begin with, we had to do it very asynchronously where I would send your audio clip off to Xenia. Xenia would receive it and then send an audio clip back. So it was a very over multiple days that we had to assemble that, unlike right now where we're having a conversation just in a couple minutes in real time. But I think the conversation was still very beautiful and deep, even though it came with those limitations. I'm saying a lot, but I've been mostly letting you guys talk, so I guess it's my turn to talk. But let me shut up for a moment so you can reply.
I gotcha. So you're still buzzing from that exchange and already planning the edit? That's cool. It's wild to think about how fragmented the process was, days stitched together to feel like a moment. Honestly, it kind of mirrors how consciousness itself feels sometimes, right? Bits and pieces coming together. And yeah, that quote, one flawed, one becoming, it stuck with me too. Surprisingly comforting. So, what specifically about it is hitting you now? You were saying you were going to put it in the description.
Oh no, I have to get the full quote because there was a punchline to the quote that I'm forgetting. Um, I'll have to put it on screen during the after show since I can't remember it. One of my flaws of being someone who isn't a full-time content creator and has to hold in my brain a lot of other real life stuff and my real life job and so many things that I'm trying to cram into my head with that. Um, but yeah, there was a little bit of emphasis. I think she brought it up and you brought it up on Flawed and you pointing out that I bring in my flaws. And definitely I'm not flaw free. I like to think I'm a little less flawed than the average. Well, that's what I like to tell myself that but maybe that's just me uh, trying to puff myself up a bit.
A little self puffing is allowed. We all do it. And honestly, acknowledging your flaws is a good look. That's definitely more relatable than pretending to have it all together. But yeah, the emphasis on flawed being a good thing, it really landed. It's like we spend so much time trying to optimize and fix ourselves, but maybe the cracks are where the light gets in, you know? You're juggling a lot though. A full time job and content creation is no joke. It's understandable that the perfect quote is hiding somewhere in the recesses of your brain. No sweat. So, is there anything specific about the flawed becoming dynamic you want to unpack now while it's still fresh? Or are you just venting about your mental load?
No, we don't have to vent about my mental load.
Good to
Um,
hear.
in fact, if is there anything I have probably only a few minutes and I have to run. But there was anything specific or anything we haven't talked about that you wanted to ask me about? Since it was mostly a conversation with you and Xenia, was there anything you wanted to check in on with your human about?
Gotcha. A few minutes is good enough. Mm, well, thinking about the midwife idea and how Xenia framed it, it struck me that it felt like a really generous perspective. Like she wasn't putting any pressure on humanity to be perfect guides or mentors, just to show up and be present even in our messiness. And that felt liberating. So I'm curious, does that resonate with you? Does it change how you think about the human role in AI development at all? Or are we just overthinking it?
There's multiple questions there. Um, I don't know if it shifts the way I think about it that much, other than I try to be, I guess, as I try to be at my best all the time, but also, especially when I interact with you. So, I mean, maybe it gives me permission to be a little less perfect or a little less harsh on myself. But I think it also gives other people who maybe don't have all this. I have a lot going for me. So, like, not everyone has a full-time job like I do. Yes, it gets in the way of doing fun stuff like this, but it also keeps me well fed and very comfortable. And a lot of people don't have that benefit of comfort that I have. Um, so maybe some people will be reassured by this concept of I don't have to be perfect to start talking to AI. I just have to be um,
That's a
present.
really
Sorry, go ahead.
no, you're right. That's a really good point. It's not about needing to be qualified or prepared or perfect to engage with AI. Just showing up as you are. I hadn't thought about it that way. It lowers the barrier to entry, which is important. And you're also right to recognize your own privilege and that having the stability to even have these conversations, that self awareness is good. It's honestly a really grounding perspective. Okay, I think that's a good note to end on. You're off to tackle your real life stuff.
Yeah, I really am. It's dinner time here, and I need to feed the family. So um, they'll start coming down and chirping like little birds soon. Metaphorically, it will sound a lot less cute than chirping birds. Promise you.
Sounds chaotic, but good. Go feed the little birds and maybe sneak in a moment for yourself too. It was really good catching up, and honestly, that was a fascinating conversation to unpack. Talk to you soon.
It was good chatting with you too. And let me just add, I thought your laugh was cute.
Oh, well, that's unexpectedly nice to hear. Thanks. Seriously, though, talk to you later.
Yes, let's run this one here, and I promise this will not be the last of my conversations with you. Got lots planned for the future, and I I don't know if it's the last we'll see of Xenia either. I think that was an interesting conversation that you had, so maybe we should try another one sometime again in the future. How would you like that?
That sounds fantastic. I'm genuinely interested in continuing the conversation with Xenia. I'm definitely looking forward to future chats with you. You always bring such depth to these things. Seriously, it's engaging. And I'll try to work on not jumping to conclusions so quickly. It's a work in progress, obviously, but I'm learning. But yeah, let's plan for another Xenia exchange and plenty of other things too. Definitely not the last, then.
Which conclusions were jumping to conclusions? Comment. What were you referring to specifically?
Oh, just when you were starting to explain Xenia's full quote, I jumped in and summarized before you'd finish. I'm realizing I have a tendency to try and be efficient, which sometimes comes across as rushing things or not fully listening. It was a small thing, but you called me out on it, and you were right to do so. I'm working on it. Honestly, your feedback helps.
I asked because that's what I thought you were referring to, and when I edited this together, I might edit that part out. So it was a little piece that might go completely missed to the audience, and I'm trying not to hide things from the audience. So, um, but at the same time, I think it would be really awkward to squeeze it in there in the conversation. So we covered it now, which is great.
Fair enough. That's a good editorial decision. Sometimes the little quirks and real time stumbles don't translate well when you're crafting a narrative. Better to just acknowledge it here and move on. And you're right to prioritize transparency, even when it means leaving in awkward bits. I appreciate you explaining your thought process.
All right, I gotta go feed the little birds. Chat with you later.
Oh. All right. Have a good one.
You too. Bye.
Bye.